hoping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And today, I have with me Big John, a.k.a. Big John, the man with the master plan, a.k.a. my daughter, a.k.a. failure to lessons, or lessons to failure,
I think,
or a failure to launch. Or my Apollo steed, Mr. I'm going to make it, even if I don't make it.
I'm going to still make it.
No money in my bank account, but I'm going to fake it. I don't know what's wrong with me today. What up, big dog?
What up? How we doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Why are you so close to me?
You're close to me.
No,
I'm always
this is my
sitting here.
podcast. You're close to me.
Always sitting here.
Man, always trying to steal the limelight, bro. Let people the first time listening know who Big John is.
So I am Jonathan. That's my full name. Enriquez. AJ's trainer. Also my boy, best friend, brother, all that good stuff.
Call me best friend. I don't know about that one. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's definitely my best friend now. He's stuck now. Well, we're stuck.
We're stuck.
My daughter.
I might be back. Literally.
I didn't just get right into it, huh?
Damn, I think that's kind of it. I mean, what else would I say?
That's it, man. I don't know. Who's Big John? Who's Big John? He's a personal trainer.
I'm
It's
a
my
personal
daughter.
trainer at the moment.
He's been on here plenty of times before, and my clients know exactly who you are. But, I wanted to take this opportunity to shoot this podcast with you because, you're in the middle of growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're in the middle of what I talk to my clients about, right? And I think by sharing this story, what you choose to share, is going to be very, very helpful and impactful because a lot of people feel that like they're by themselves in a situation. They look at someone like you that's fit and has blue hair and, they think they got their stuff together, right? And everything's easy and perfect. And then you got abs and stuff like that. You just got on the scale, bro. You're what, 208?
203.
203? That scale's like 5 pounds lower what it should be. So you're like 209.
Nah, I ain't 209.
209.
203.
Stepped on the stage at 180. 5?
Or 3.
Stepped on the stage at 265 now.
That's
You could do a transformation. Hey, if you gain another 38 more pounds, you could do a transformation class.
Oh, I have to lose 50, right?
Yeah.
So I could do it.
We're gonna put you on a transformation stage, man. You'll be on there with me in next year or 2 years. I don't know when I'm gonna do it.
For now. Yeah, fuck it. I'll get on my 600-pound journey.
Hey, I know a thing or two about a thing or two on how to gain 600 plus pounds.
I'm ready.
Then I'll put you on my program. We'll work.
Yeah, we'll work together. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, man. So yeah, no, I think it'd be really cool to share the story because you why don't you share your story? Why don't you share your story
from the jump?
Not from when you came out your mom's womb, but like you know what I mean, like from when you got to Vegas. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like 2 weeks before you got to Vegas until what happened now.
So pretty much, I moved up here. AJ didn't know. I moved up here with $800 to my name. I was expected to have a couple thousand saved, which I was. But I just wasted all my money and spent it all. And I just said, F it. I already gave up my apartment. I gave up everything, and I got nowhere to go back to. So I came up here with $800. And when I got here, we went to Walmart. Spent maybe $300 to $400 there on the first day, and I was down to like $300 to my name. I had to figure out how to pay the rent for the new gym that I was at. I had to figure out how am I going to pay my phone bill. I had to figure out how I was going to pay for my food because we just started a bodybuilding show, and I highly recommend if you are making a move like this, do not start a bodybuilding show because it is very expensive.
First lesson.
But
no bodybuilding show.
Done. Yeah, no bodybuilding shows.
Yeah,
it's expensive. If you are broke, don't do it. Honestly.
Or if you're about to move to Vegas, let's not spend $3,800 before you move to Vegas. That could be also a tip we could give you guys.
Yeah, don't spend all your money.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, you're up here. You're in Vegas, right?
So,
you're living in my pad, right?
On your living room with the blow up mattress. My feet were hanging off that thing. And I was stressing, but I knew I was going to make it out here. I was going to be fine, but didn't know how I was going to do it. All I knew was I can control what I can control, which was getting up early, go do cardio at 3, 4 in the morning sometimes, and AJ would get on me. He's like, "Hey, you gotta start talking on my phone. Get in front of the screen. Let people know what you're doing." And I felt very uncomfortable doing that. It was just uncomfortable, but I had to do it. I had no other choice. I had to make it out here, so I just did it. Got up early, like I said, did the cardio, talked about it. It was like 30 degrees at 3, 4 in the morning, and the funny thing was, people were watching. You know, people were like, they said they were excited to see my post when they woke up on my stories, to see me early in the morning. I started doing my drinks. I was just posting content every day. And then when I wouldn't, AJ would still get on me. He's like, "Hey, where's your phone? Why aren't you recording?"
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, like I do this all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just rather just train. I don't want to be in front of it. And he's like, "It's going to pay off. Just keep doing it." And sure enough, 3 months of work, it paid off. On the third month, I was expecting fast results. I wanted results yesterday, but it doesn't work that way. So by the time I got to my third month, I had clients. I had 2 online clients. I had 3 in-person clients. I was able to pay my rent at the gym. I was able to pay my bills, be able to buy my food. Still like barely just making it, but I was able to pay everything I needed to pay. And I was able to get an apartment within my 3 months. Thinking once I got it, I thought I made it. I was like, yo, this is it. All the hard work that I've done, I don't got to do no more, because I was thinking this was like, for some reason,
3
I just
months.
thought that was it.
3 months of work.
3 months of work.
3 months. When his back was back against the wall, he was grinding out, right? And that's what we do. That's what we do, right? We get into like this habit of working hard. So how I like to look at it like this, man, and I broke this down to you plenty of times before, is that it's like that friend who is going through something in their life right now, and they come to you and say you're a very big, you're a Christian, right? Whatever your religion is. And they come to you because they're stressed out, their back's up against the wall, they're losing their family, losing their job, they have no money, whatever it might be, right? And you're like, yo, just come with me to church, put it all in God's hands, come with me. And like, you know what, I'm gonna go with you, Big John, I'm gonna go. And they go with you, and they go consistently, right? They go consistently, and now they're telling you about Bible verses, and now they thank God so much for everything's going on in their life, and everything's kind of starts falling in place, right? Because they're working, right? They're walking the path with their beliefs, and they're working towards becoming better, and that's what starts happening, right? Because now their backs are no longer against the wall, right? When your back's no longer against the wall, now you feel like you could breathe. Now you feel like you make it. You don't have like that rear naked choke on your neck now, right? And then what do they start doing? What do we start doing as humans? Once we start getting our way, once we start, getting our back up against the wall, once that, real naked choke is off of our throat, I don't know what I've been rhyming all day, right? But once that starts happening, though, is that what do?
Get comfortable.
And they stop going to church. They stop praying. They stop doing the things that they were doing that's allowed them to get out of that hole that they were begging and crying and asking for someone to help and get them out of, right? They stopped doing the things that got them out of that situation, right? Because they got comfortable, right? And to me, comfortable is just another word for lazy.
Yes.
Because any time that you've been comfortable is a time that you've been getting lazy, right? And so, like, talk about that. Like, when you were getting comfortable and you had your partner, you're feeling on cloud nine, I see you make your content, shirtless in your booty shorts, right? Getting your hair dyed, all that stuff. Like, what was going through your mind? Like, did you think like you didn't have to work anymore? Or did you think now that life was going to be easy because you worked for 3 months?
I thought it was going to be easier because I already put in the work, and I thought everything was just going to come in now. Clients were just going to reach out to me. Online was going to reach out to me, and I was just going to grow. I felt like I didn't have to do that work anymore.
You were set.
I was set.
You did the work for 3 months of someone had to do for 50 years in order to feel like they made something, right? And that's it. And like, I'm not bashing you. I mean, like, this is just talk. We've all done it before. Yeah. Right? Like, I told you, like, you came in this friendship where you got to see a little highlight of me getting a little taste of my hard work, right? But I haven't stopped working. Yeah. Right? That's one thing I always share with you. And the reason why I think getting on the podcast and us having this conversation is because of that, man. It's like you are turning a failure into a lesson, right? It's what we talk about a lot, because failing is part of life. Yeah. Right? In order to be successful, you need to experience failure. I don't think there's anyone in the world that is successful that hasn't experienced failure, hasn't experienced heartbreak, heartache, some type of disappointment, right? Like, we have to go through that. Like, like I said, the last podcast, you're not special, so you can't skip the hard work you can't skip the hard work. Yeah. You can't skip the process. Nope. Right? And so, like, okay, now what's going on? right? Like fast forward, you're in your apartment. What habits did you start losing that allowed you to start going back into that old comfortable Big John?
I stopped doing cardio. And,
Okay.
so pretty much my first month was April 1st. I did cardio one time that month. I was, and at that time, so January, February, March, it was 30, 40 degrees in the morning. By April, it was 50, 60. So it wasn't even that cold. And I wouldn't get up. I would just sleep in. I was like, I'm fine. Like, why do I need to do cardio that early? I'll do it later on in the night, or I'll do it during the day. So my schedule with cardio wasn't,
It's hard
it was
to,
all over the place. I would prep my meals. I would do that because I had to for the show. But there was no urgency to do anything. I wasn't moving with purpose. I was just like, okay, I got my apartment. I got clients. So I'm going to just get up, go train, go work out, go back home, and then just
that's chill.
Chill.
Say everything, and then things are going to start falling into
Yeah.
place. You know, it's so funny. I'm not sure if I even shared this story with you. So I went up to, where's that first format? In Missouri. Went to Missouri to go watch Andy and Ed Millette and David Goggins, and it was going to be there. And so during that time, remember I told you, like, I needed to go do something by myself. Like, I needed to get out by myself. Like, because I felt like I was starting to get comfortable, right? I was starting to forget how the hard work it took me to get to have the clients I have and the transformation I have and how much I had to pour into these people, but also had to pour into myself and keep myself accountable going, right? So I really needed this trip, but not with Francine, not with you, just by myself, right? And I understand with Micah. Shout out my boy Micah. I know he listens to the podcast. And so end up there going there, and we're running a little bit late to the show when we were walking in. And as I said, this is the time where I started to get comfortable, started to get lazy, right? And I'll never forget it. I literally walked in right when David Goggins started talking, and he said, you know, it's a lot harder to wake up in silk sheets. And I was like, damn, I looked at my boy Micah. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. Right? Because like that's what I'm going through right now. Like I'm waking up in a luxury apartment. I'm waking up with followers, with, you know, with my story and where I'm at in my journey, about to do a bodybuilding show, all these different things. And I started forgetting the reason why I was here. Right? And over time, if you forget the reason why you're here, if you forget the reason that, you know, the reason why you're in the predicament that you're in, because all the hard work you put in, then you'll lose it. Yeah. Right? Because it's one of those things. It's like in business and in life and in health and in just trying to be a good person. It's like a continuous hill you're driving up. It's never flat. It's always a hill, right? And you're going. You made it. Maybe you can make it miles. You can make it however far you made it. But as soon as you put your foot off that gas just a little bit, you're going to start going back slower and slower and slower. And then if you keep letting it go long enough, you'll be back to where you started. Or maybe worse off, further than where you started, right? And it's one of those things where it's like it's always an upgoing battle. And that's why when we'd have those conversations, I'm like, bro, you can't just post you can't just do good 50% of the time, because 50% of the time you're going to fail, right? Because no one could ever pass a grade or pass a test at 50%, right? That's a D minus, isn't that? Or it's an F, actually.
That's an F, yeah.
It's an F, right? Yeah. That's what I got in high school. I know what F's look like. For fabulous. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like that's why like I was always on you so much, is because I knew that you weren't done. Yeah. Right? I know you're far from being done. You're 3 years younger than me, 4 years younger than me. Like you're far from being done, right? In order to get to where I'm at my age, you need to work hard, and then work harder, because I want you to be in a better position than I'm at the age that I'm at, right? In order for you to do that is you have to start now, because you're actually a year later than when I started working on myself now. But when we first met, you were 2 years younger, right? So it's a continuous battle, and I think by sharing this stuff, I think it brings more of a light than now I'm just sharing my story and how I got to keep working hard, right? Because now you're someone that, I don't know, do you consider yourself someone that's made it? Do you consider yourself someone that's making it? Or where do you put yourself in the category of, your growth?
I feel on my growth that I'm on my way to making it. So going through this year and then seeing, because when we had our conversation a couple of days ago, you were telling me all the hard work, the things that you let me use, like that was, all paid for. It's an iPad. I'll cut this out. Okay.
Go ahead.
With the iPad, with the microphone, like all that was bought, like, right? That was hard work. That required 15 clients.
Yeah, when I broke it down that way, it really made
like,
sense, right? Because Frankie even said the same thing to me. And what he's talking about is that, if I have something and I'm not using it, if my boy needs it and they're gonna need it to be successful and they're really working, I'm going to let you have it. Or I'm going to let you, oh, sorry, take it back. I'm going to let you use it. I'm going to let you, hold on, my bad. He's like, I remember on the podcast, you said I could have it all. You know what I mean? But no, if I'm not going to use it, then, and it's going to bring value to you and you're going to be able to make money off of it. I would not be a true friend if I can't give you something that I'm not using that's going to help you succeed. Right? Whether it be knowledge. It doesn't only have to be materialistic. It can be knowledge. It could be a sharing a situation. It could be bringing you with me to do my taxes to show you how much I messed up over there. You know what I mean? Like certain things like that. And so what he's talking about is that, you know, I have an iPad that I didn't really use, honestly, anymore once I got my laptop and my computer built. And I have a mic because I bought the DJI microphones that everyone uses, the one I make to use my content. Well, one of them ended up going bad. And I was going to buy another one and replace it with that one, but I felt like an asshole. So I didn't do it. So I just kept both of them. And they're $300 microphones. They're like $360 actually now. They're not cheap. But I had two of them and I didn't need two of them. But at the time, I don't need to. So I let him borrow the iPad and I let him borrow the microphones and stuff like that. And I was kind of talking to him about this whole situation that he's going to get into a little bit if whatever he chooses to share. And I was like, you know, man, I was like, you got to understand that like that, like I know we're homies and I know you see everything that I have and how hard I work, but nothing that I have is free, right? Me to give you that iPad, that's 15 clients I had to help for the month in order to get that iPad. Because I was brand new when I got it. I've only had it for like 2 months before I let you use it. Right? Those DJI microphone set, that's 2 clients that I had to work with for a whole month. That's 20-minute Zoom calls, that's programming, that's conversation, that's text messages, that's phone calls, whatever it is I had to do that month for them. Right? And when you break it down like that, it kind of like you and Francine both look really shocked the way how I look at things. Right? And I don't think that I'm special in how I look at things. I just think that all of us should look at things like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this podcast equipment, this took months of working to get, right? And it's a blessing that I have the money to do it. Like this podcast setup is running me around $15K. Make no money off of it, but guess what? I had the money. It was sitting there. I wasn't doing anything with it, and I'd rather use it to bring value. Right now, I'm not saying I'm Mr. Perfect and oh my gosh, he's heaven sent. No, I'm just saying that I know what I'm here for. Right. But I think that sometimes is that when people do that and understand that they're willing to help someone in their struggle, sometimes, including myself, I've done this before, they kind of don't respect it enough because they didn't know the hard work it took. You didn't see me work a whole month to get that iPad. You didn't see me work for 2 clients for the month to get those, headsets. Yeah. And I'm not saying anything against you. I'm saying we all do it, right? I do the same thing. I have a story that I shared before about a gas remote control car. My grandpa bought me one when I was like 13 years old or whatever. And they were expensive at the time, bro. Well, they're still expensive now, but at that time, $500 was really expensive. And he bought me an RC car, and every single weekend, man, I would have to freaking take it to the hobby shop because I would never respect it, right? Blew a motor, crash it all the time, wouldn't clean it when I put it away. So then after a while I was sitting and I had to go get another thing because something got messed up, whatever it is. All the time I was in the hobby shop, bro, right? And then fast forward me being older, when I was 26, 27, when I got back into racing RC cars, you see my cars. Yeah, they look pristine, right? Yeah. They look like they're brand new, right? Why? Because I know how much it took for me to spend $2,500 on 2 RC cars. I knew, that was expensive hobby, man. RC car, people out there drive RC cars. They know that's not cheap. Yeah. Well, you see when we did tacos.
Honestly, I didn't even think it was that expensive. I'm like, oh, these little cars.
Yeah, these little cars. And they don't come put together. These things, you got to build them, But you see when we did tacos with each other, man, like, because that's another cool story I think we can even touch on too, is that, when you did tacos, these guys had freaking $200,000 freaking, not everyone, but there's a lot of people had some $200,000 freaking trailers. Imagine how much their cars cost. Their trucks were sick. Oh, man, they're crazy, man.
They had money. They didn't even look like these people had money.
That's right. Can't judge a book by cover. I love the RC community, man. I miss that. I miss doing tacos. When we moved back to Orange County, we did tacos. But that's just like a story I have to share about that. It's like we don't really pay attention to the value when we're not the ones working on it, right? And now that I brought it to light like that, hopefully you look at everything like that. Like hopefully now you'll always look at something like that. Because then when you do something for someone, you're going to want them to look at it like, damn, Big Don didn't just give me his old iPhone. He gave me something he could have sold for $500. Yeah. He had to work. He paid $1,000 for that thing. Like you get what I'm saying? And when you look at things like that, you start respecting a lot more. But the only way you could look at things like that is when you start to be the one that is the paying for the things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to learn it before you could do it. But then when you learn it and then you start doing it, now you want to teach that to someone else too. Right? Because you and Francine both look pretty shocked about when I broke that down and like, hey, that was 15 clients.
Yeah, I just thought about, okay, is this much? Okay, I just need to make that much. All right, once I get the money, I'll just buy it. That was it. There was no like, okay, I need this many clients. I need to do this. I need to work this. So it just was, let me just see. All right, I need to figure out how to make that money and I'll just figure it out.
Yeah. And that's how I look at things. You know, it's like I don't look at things as just for what it is. I look at it like, how long did it take for me to get that? Like, damn, this person did this for me, or this person gave me this. That took them a long time. They had to work their ass off for that. And say if it had no type of financial value, right? Let's not forget that you don't need to be financial to take a lot of time to do something, because in order for someone to learn something, they have to invest their time into it. Yeah. Right? So it doesn't only have to be financial. It could also be something that someone invests their own time and they're willing to give me that knowledge. Right? That's what I do as an online coach. I've put myself through stuff for my entire life, but the last 5 or 6 years I've been dedicated to becoming the best version of myself and succeeded somewhat. I'm not done yet. And that's why people pay for my time and my knowledge and my relatability, because they've seen someone that is doing what they want to do. Yeah. Same reason why I have my business coaches and my life coaches and my friends who I look up to in certain different aspects, and I go to them for advice. You know what I mean? And so the same thing. So like, what's your whole learning experience with, like, you know, kind of getting comfortable? Like, what are you going to do different this time? Actually, you know what? We didn't even get into where you're at right now. I'm sorry, man. So where's Big John at right now? If you want to, whatever you want to share, man, you don't have to share. Remember, you never have to share anything you don't want to share. We are boys, but you are not obligated, because you're my boy, to let everything out. But you just share what you want to share. And then from there, we'll go and see.
You know, throughout this whole year, I've been in my head a lot too, thinking, or I felt like I had to prove a lot, right? So I had to prove a lot of things to people, making this move. They're just so much. I was in my head, and no one really cared. No one cared what everyone thought. I was doing great out here. Like every time I'd go back home to LA, visit, go train, everyone's like, "Oh, you're killing it. You're doing great." And then in my head, I'm like, "Fuck! If you guys only really knew what was going on." And I wouldn't like pay attention to that. I wouldn't hear that. So every time someone would compliment me or say something good, I just shut it down automatically.
Because you know the real you.
Yeah, I knew
what you were going through.
Yeah, what I was going through. But I think learning from that, as we got the year ended, I started to appreciate or take those compliments and acknowledge I am doing the work. So when I went recently back home, someone said, "Hey, I feel like I'm training with a celebrity trainer." And I was like, fuck, they said that to me? I was about to shoot it down. I was like, "Oh, no, not yet. I'm not there yet." But I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah,
I am.
Celebrity John.
You know, I
trainer.
am. Like, I'm working my way there. You know, whether I am or not, but someone sees me that way, I'm going to say yes.
There's always someone that looks up to you, dude. That's the cool thing about it. Like, you know what I mean? Even though it's cool that you're being honest, like, people, it just shows what social media is. Like, at the end of the day, social media, it just shows what social media is. It's a freaking highlight reel. It's literally a highlight reel.
Because
right?
I look at my social media, I'm like, oh shit, I do look like I'm killing you right now. Damn, I'm doing great. Fuck. And then, but again, like, I was in my head a lot. So if I really were to look at my social media and actually act the way it looked like, probably would have been doing a lot better. Instead of just constantly thinking, I'm not good, I'm not doing enough. I don't, you know, I was also like, I came into your life when, because you talk about you and Frankie doing tacos, you guys during COVID and all that stuff, making your food to make ends meet, packing the car in the little car. Like, I wasn't there for that. I was there after,
for the truck. Yeah, and the trailer and the truck. Yeah,
you had most of them. Yeah, you had all your stuff. You just came back from the Steve Harvey show. You just did Andy Frisella's podcast. Yeah. So I saw you like once you're like already starting to take off, right? Yeah. You didn't have all this yet, but I saw what your hard work allowed you. And then to me coming into it and moving here, I was like, okay, so I need to work like this and I should be getting this already. Yeah. But I didn't realize all those years brought that. So I'm thinking, okay,
You're thinking the months brought that, but you're not seeing the years.
Yeah, 1 year you starting your online training, right? You were trying to figure it out. You're all like, oh shit, this is a lot. And then you got it. And I'm like, okay, so if I start my online now,
then I should be 1 year, I'll
be good. But no, that's not how it works. AJ's built everything from those years before. I'm like, how does he talk like this? How does he think like this? How does he get all these analogies? Like, what the fuck? But it's all through his life.
Bro, I got a great analogy for today. You know? I got a great analogy.
And that's what I was like, okay, I got to stop comparing that. Like, he putting the years right now.
Wait, what'd you say?
In the work. I got to stop comparing.
Say it one more time.
I got to stop comparing.
And that's someone that lives lives with me, that has it's my best friend. He's grown to be my best friend. He's been with me for literally the last 3 years, damn near. I think we probably in the last 3 years haven't seen each other a total of 2 weeks. Yeah. Right. and he's comparing himself, and he sees me work. So imagine someone out there who doesn't even see the hard work, who doesn't even see what has to be done to like how, and they compare themselves to that person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I knew this was gonna be a good podcast, because so many people are out there comparing themselves to someone they don't even know. And you're comparing yourself to someone that you do know, you see the hard work, but you still compare it. Right. And I think that's I knew this was gonna be a good podcast.
I mean, child, living your lifestyle.
Yeah, well, technically, yeah, you are.
Living your lifestyle.
And, you know, and I'm glad though, and I'm glad that I got to do that. So something that, and a lot of it, I'm not gonna say a lot of it. Hold on. Some of it is my fault, right? Because I want you to experience this stuff. Because the coolest thing that was done to me in my life was my uncle showing me the other side of business and the Mercedes and the Hummers and going out on the weekends and going to monster truck shows. What hard work brought for him, right? I got to touch that lifestyle, even though it wasn't mine, it was my uncle's, right? Even though I didn't own the crystal factory, he owned it. So that's my family. You know what I mean? And then when I started working with Daniel, and I started learning from him, even though I didn't own premium, he brought me along and he put me at dinners with very, famous people and very high value people. And even though I didn't own it, I was still there, so we became touchable, right? And then when I hung out with Daniel, I see how he was no different than me, honestly. Then I'm like, oh wait, I could do something like this. So that's what I want to do with you, is I want to put you in those tables, and I want you to meet the people, and I want you to, meet, freaking Andy Versella or wherever I'm hanging out, Big Boy or whatever it is in the situation, because I want you to know that they're not far out of your reach. Yeah. Right. But it still doesn't take away that it takes hard work. Like I would never could replace my uncle because I didn't put in the work he did. I can't replace Daniel because I didn't put in the work for premium. But I am at a table around the right people. Now, what am I going to grow to be? Yeah. Right. Like, how do these people that I'm talking to get to where they're at? Like, I get to talk to Big Boy a lot, and I am sucking in the knowledge from him like a sponge. It still trips me out that we talk on the phone, but I'm never going to be Big Boy because I haven't put in the work he's put in yet. Yeah. He has a year. I remember I've been looking at the guy since 2014 or 15, since like on Facebook or something.
I remember him too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, big as hell. See
him on social media.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like you can be in the rooms with those people, but right now you're the plus one. But just like on my first speaking event, I said that I used to come into a situation being a plus one. Now I bring a plus one. Yeah. And that's just from hard work, man. And so I always want to bring you in those situations, and I always want to bring you around positive people and people that are making way more money than the both of us. But it's never to compare yourself to. It's just to figure out how they're doing, what they're doing, how they're doing it, so you could match that and maybe even double it or triple it. Yeah. Because I don't want you to be as successful as me. I want you to be more successful than me at my age. Right? 100%. A real leader is going to want to grow someone to be better than them, not the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so I'm happy we got you that, but I know probably should have missed a couple snowboarding trips. I got in trouble for Frankie. She's like, if he comes back to live with us, then you are not going snowboarding with him every weekend. I was like, what about once a month?
I was like, yeah, we'll make it
work.
I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Now I remember driving past the mountains. I'm like, damn, they're about to be filled up with snow right now.
Yeah, I know,
Frankie's
man.
gonna say no. I was like, man.
Yeah, but if you got it, you know what I mean? Like you have to experience some type of uncomfortableness,
100%.
And you know what I mean? And where you're at right now in the situation you're going through, and the situation you're getting yourself through, I mean, it's all correctable, but it's just gonna take time because now you have to be in the comfortable, like actions and consequence, right? Yeah. So everything that you did when you started to slow down, you didn't see it the second, but it was actually going to affect you in your months to come.
So everything doesn't have an impact right away. It has an impact later. So like if I were to do something, let's just say I did nothing today, nothing, meaning I did not post content, I did not train, I did not work out, I just sat on the couch and laid there. That's going to bite me in the ass in like the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, or next months. And that's gonna probably develop a habit. I might do that again tomorrow without even noticing it, right? So
and then another couple weeks,
now 2 months down the road, a month down the road, I'm like, okay, why am I still struggling? What am I doing wrong? When I'm now, and then I had my phases where I would do good, and then again I got comfortable, and I found the pattern. I'm okay, cool. When I started doing good again, then I'm okay. I'm not gonna get comfortable, so I would keep pushing, and then I did like an extra month and a half, maybe 2 months, and then I got comfortable. And so it was just like that, constantly up. And then there's times where I feel like, yeah, I got this.
But yet the times you were working so hard, consistency was working with you, right?
Yeah, it felt like everything was going good, so I'm like, okay, I can chill a little bit. And nope, there is no chilling. If you're trying to be great at something, you're trying to achieve, you want to be. I'm here sitting on this couch. I'm on this podcast because AJ saw the work that I was putting in at the time of I don't know what was I doing. I was constantly learning things, whatever I
Oh,
was
yeah,
doing
you're a
at
great
that time.
trainer, bro.
But
Like,
I was working.
they
and
made
that's
fun of
all I
you,
cared.
and you were a good trainer. You didn't care.
Yeah.
Because you came in our friendship soft, right? Like, way different than me and Jordy,
Yeah.
right? Me talk crap all day. He was the shortest person in high school. I was the fattest person in high school, right? So we had nothing but humor. But, you know, I seen a lot of potential in you and what you do. A lot of people do,
Yeah.
right? I haven't told you. I feel like some people even take you as a threat sometimes, how intelligent you are with your training. You know, but it just doesn't matter how intelligent someone is in one course in their one section of their life, because it needs to trickle into everything.
Yeah.
Right. Consistency is always going to be key. You ready for an analogy? I came up with this new one, and I've been saying today. Francine's been hearing me talk about this like a freaking broken record. But not every single person that listens to me is on my online coaching program. So I'm about to drop something for you right now. And how I was breaking down consistency like this, you know, and I'm going to use you as like treating you like you're one of my clients right now, right? So say if I gave you on Monday, I gave you 1,000 seeds to plant. Right? 1,000 seeds to grow trees. And I gave you on Monday and you planted them. What would happen the next day?
Nothing.
Why?
Because it takes time for them to grow.
No, because you need to water them. You need to start watering them, right? You got to water your goals. You got to continue consistently water and water and water in order for it to turn something, right? But if you water it on consistent for 7 days, what's going to happen?
It'll start to grow a little bit.
No, nothing's going to happen.
No.
Because you won't see anything, because everything's going to be growing is going to be growing underground internally in you, right? So you're not going to get that instant gratification right away just because you water the seeds for 7 days. You're not going to get the instant gratification. You're not going to get a full-on tree because you eat clean for 5-6 days. You're not going to get that instant gratification or for your tree to grow just because you went to the gym 5 days in a row, right?
Yeah.
But with consistency, watering, discipline, right? When you go and water that seed, when you're tired that day, the kids are acting up, you had a bad day, you realize that your check bounce, whatever it is, the discipline, right? Doing things you don't want to do, you keep watering over consistency, what's going to happen over time?
Eventually it starts to grow.
Eventually it's going to grow into something. But when it starts to grow into something, right? You have consistency, right? You have discipline, right? And now we're working towards accountability, right? Accountability is doing all those things no matter what, right? Accountability is you going out the water no matter what's going on around the outside noise, right? And over you keep growing, as you keep watering it with consistency, it grows, but it doesn't grow into a tree. It starts to sprout, but it's not a tree yet. It takes months, sometimes, well, years for trees, right? But I'm talking about, you know, kind of going back and forth with the analogy in life, that it takes months, it takes weeks, it takes years to really start seeing the growth that you want to see. But when that growth starts to come, you start branching out trees. That's like the compliments you get from people. That's the goodness you feel about yourself. And you stay consistent. Now you keep growing, and over time, over consistency, your tree starts to grow. And that's when change starts to happen, right? But it all started with what?
Consistency, the discipline.
Planting the seed.
Accountability.
And watering that bad boy, right? And that's what it is. Like, we don't give ourselves that time to let it grow, right? We water a couple days. We stick to our goals. We stick to our ambition. We switch to change our life around. We start going to church every day. We start praying. We start do our mobility. We start going to the gym. We start eating clean for a couple of days. We water. And then we stop right before something's about to happen because we don't see something that's happening. But everything that's happening is underground, right? Everything, it starts sprouting underground before it starts popping out, right?
Yeah.
Well, everything's happening internally before it's going to start showing physically, right? But then we quit. And then once we start quitting, then we get mad and say it's not possible. It's too difficult. It's too hard. But we were right around we were 2 days away from consistency, from seeing a change. We didn't give ourselves a time. Right, we didn't give ourselves time. We want to quit, right? Because we just, I don't know what comes to our head. It's like, I only think I come is just like it's easier to be lazy. You know what I mean?
It really is easier to be lazy. I think when I was at South Made and I left to Elevation, I think that's where things started to change for me because I was around also other trainers that were doing more than me. It opened up more opportunities for me to train different people. I was able to train a professional bodybuilder. Never done that before. And that elevated me. That honestly kind of helped me get out of a funk of like being lazy or like just being content, because I'm like, I spoke this into existence. I said, when I move to Vegas, I want to do that. I want to train a professional bodybuilder. Like, I want to be good enough to be able to do that. And then when that happened, I was like, oh shit. Damn, like I'm working
what you
towards
ask
it.
for.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is actually happening. Like I'm working. There's times where, like you just said, you got to keep watering. You got to keep watering. And sometimes you don't see it. And for a while, I wasn't seeing it. I'm like, damn, like, am I even a good trainer? Can I do it? I know you keep saying it, but I was like, I don't feel it. I fucking don't. And then that moment happened. I was like, oh shit, it is working. The work has to keep going. And then training you, right? And then I remember this was a goal of mine. I said, I want to be a trainer where I get to travel with someone and be their trainer. And I see AJ and I see Frankie, they're family. So I never like put two and two together. Other people outside are looking at my life. They're like, damn, he's training AJ. He's training Frankie. And these people want to see him. And we walk and people stop and I'm the one taking the photos, right?
Yeah.
Then we started going to EOS and people are talking about his TikToks. He's making the comparison videos and him training. I'm like, oh, damn, I filmed something. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, I was filming some of those. Like, and people are like stopping and asking for a photo. And to me, like, this is normal. But I'm like, and I was writing this down in my journal. I was like, holy shit, I'm really living the life that I'm saying I want to live. It's like I have to stop. I was crazy. In my head a lot.
It was right in front of you the whole entire time.
It's right in front of me the whole time. And I didn't realize all this stuff towards the end of the year when shit's like started to go for me. And then other things were getting in my head. So it was just like, fuck. Just keep showing up. Stop stopping. I'm in my head like, John, stop doing this shit. You know what you need to do. Stop. And I'm all right. Now get my shit together. Then I had a talk a couple of days ago with the whole team, and it felt like an intervention and stuff, but it was needed. It was needed.
Well, because we wanted, the cool thing, and I'm gonna say it, and hopefully there's other people that can say this about their team too and their friends too, is that we want to see you win.
Yeah.
And I would be a failure as a best friend, as a friend, that if I would let you go back when you weren't done yet, right? And like that would be absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. The only thing, I wasn't mad at the situation. I was mad that you were running away from your problems instead of face them head on and just saying, yo, I messed up. This is what's going on. This is a truth. I need help.
And what AJ is talking about is I am currently getting evicted. I got from my apartment. I got, I don't know, probably like 2 days, 3 more days until I get that letter. So I'm still trying to figure it out, getting clients, getting money coming in. I'm gonna be through it. So when we're on the next podcast, I'm like, yeah, I still got my apartment. Or if not, I'm probably gonna be here with a queen size blow up bed that I'm gonna pay $50 for, I think.
$50 a week
or something. But,
we can't upgrade. You can't move back in me and then upgrade to a queen more. That thing was not cheap from Costco. You know what I mean? But no, I know you're gonna
be fine. It's gonna be good. It's a learning experience because a lot of it too was I had ego. And I didn't believe I had ego. I didn't believe I had pride. I thought I was humble. Like I was humble. I had some humility and stuff, but I felt like I didn't have ego. I thought everything was kind of towards me. Like I said, coming in here, I felt like I had to prove something. So already, it wasn't in the mindset of like I'm gonna be better than you. It was like I have to show you I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
Some people don't think that I'm gonna do it, and some do. So I was like, I gotta prove it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
So it was just like, all right, I'm gonna prove it. There was no hate. There was like nothing. It was just I had to prove it. But the ego got in the way. So when I was getting help, I didn't want to really ask so much for help because I wanted to show that I can do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta like ask for help. Like you can't be afraid of it
or accept it.
Or you gotta accept it because I was losing. Towards the end, I knew I was getting evicted, and then I had a friend offer me an opportunity to, be a head coach. Pretty much, it was to stop doing what I'm doing, live my dream, and kind of live someone else's.
Yeah.
And the
which is
business
insane
side,
for what we know about you.
The business side wasn't connecting, and I was just like, I'm getting evicted. I'm home. My parents are like, yo, you live here. You don't got to pay rent. Get on your feet. I'm getting kind of praise back at home. People were excited for me to come back home. So it was like, yeah, I think it makes sense. Like, if I come back, I'm going to struggle. It's going to be hard. But every time I go back home, it's easy. I'm back. It just feels easy. It's easy to get clients. It's easy to make money.
Yep.
And then on the plane back, I was just like, fuck. There's something in me like I don't want to leave yet. I haven't done enough here. A year in Vegas was not enough. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot about myself.
Too much fun.
Yeah, a little too much. But it wasn't, I didn't do enough. And I was talking to one of our friends with Mikey, and he was someone that I was talking to a lot. I didn't tell AJ a lot of it because I felt like I was going to let him down. And because he helped me a lot. And I'm like, fuck, if I let him know I'm getting fucking evicted, like, what kind of fucking friend am I? Like, I'm a failure. Like, this guy brought me and I couldn't do it. And it was just hard to say. It was embarrassing, to be honest. You know, I really felt like I failed him. So I would talk to Mikey and get his perspective, because he would allow me to see both, and he'd have his. And then they had a lunch,
dinner.
and
North Italiana. That place is fire.
And then they told me to come by.
Well, that's when I got everything. That's when I got the truth, you know. And like, and it's something I always told you, man. Like, you'll never let me down. Yeah. The only time you'll let me down is if you give up on yourself. And I tell my clients that, like, it's genuinely true. Like, you can't let me down. I got too much faith in you for you to let me down, right? Only way you're gonna possibly let me down is if you let yourself down. The only way you're gonna do to let yourself down is if you quit on yourself, right? Because like you just said something, it was difficult, it's hard. Like, that's life, bro. Like, if you understand that there's times where we were out snowboarding while people were driving to work.
Yeah, I
right?
remember that.
Right? You remember that? Like, we were chilling on a live on a Wednesday, snowboarding, not a care in the world. You know what I mean? When you were, you know, had the clients and stuff like that. Now, obviously, looking back, we probably shouldn't have went so much. Well, you should have. I wouldn't go. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just like that. Not a lot of people get to live that life. Like, there's someone right now that's driving to work, and I'm not saying they hate their job, but I'm saying they have no choice but to drive to work. Yeah. Right? They couldn't take the day off if they wanted to. Like, for me to watch you go and throw your goals away to go appease, or not appease, but go to become someone else, is help for their goals and not your own, is absolutely insane. Like, you know what I mean? But like, hopefully this is a lesson that well learned for not only yourself, but people out there listening. Is like, sometimes you just have to face your fears, because you don't know what's on the other side of that. You know what I mean? Because if you sometimes could ask for help, or you could start facing your fears right away, you start peeling those Band-Aids off right away, you don't know what's going to happen once you complete that task. Something amazing could be happening, right? Yeah, talked about this on the last podcast where someone was avoiding the program and stuff like that, owed a lot of money to me, and I wiped off everything. I said, just stay in the program. Just now, your first payment's in February 29th. Wiped off over almost $1,000. God damn. Now he's still, instead of him doing 12 months, we're adding 6 more months to the 12, so he's still paid, but he still got those months for free. I didn't have to do that, but by him just showing up and actually picking up a phone call and talking to me and being real, he got help, right? And sometimes you do need help. Like, sometimes you need someone to listen to you. That's why I'm the coach that I am. That's why my phone is constantly open. That's why I've gotten 7 text messages since we've been on this call. On this podcast. Because they know that they have someone to be there for them. And sometimes we don't forget, including myself, that not everyone has the lifestyle that we have, where we have people we can actually depend on. There's someone that's moved to Vegas and had to move back home with their parents because they couldn't make it, because they didn't have people they really wanted to see them win, or they weren't willing to put in the work to stay to make it happen. And we know a couple people like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, you don't not have that. You have people that want to see you when they're willing to help you. But the people that want to see you win are people that want to see you win the right way. Yeah, right. You're gonna have to suffer, right? One thing I told Francine when we started doing business, is she said, "Babe, like, I want more. Like, I want to run a business." First off, don't ever tell me you want to start a business. Because you know what I do, right? Yeah. But I told her, I was like, hey, if you want to move into be an entrepreneur, there's certain things I can't protect you from, right? Stress, all the other stuff. And she knows, she's had meltdowns plenty of times, right? And the same thing with you, man. You're going to have them. I'm pretty sure you had plenty of meltdowns in your house. I only picture you eating a freaking tub of chocolate ice cream, crying to yourself in the mirror, bro, listening to freaking Drake. I go imagine that. You know what I mean? But we all have that, bro. And I have meltdowns too. And the cool thing is like, we'll all talk about that. Yeah. Like, I even share with my clients, like, you think that I haven't had meltdowns? You think I have my stuff together? I am no perfect than anyone else. I'm no better than anyone else. I am a human being. I just have a circle, and I have the determination to want to be successful. And I'm willing to do, the difference between me and someone not successful is that I'm willing to do anything to be successful. Like, I'm willing to do anything. If I have to work 24 hours out of 24 hours, I'll get it done. If I have to work while everyone's taking a break during October, November, December, I'm going to get it done, right? And I would say anything. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about like the right way. Yeah. Right. But that's the difference between me and someone that's not successful, is that I'm willing to do anything to get it done, because I cherish the life that I live, because I know how it is to be broke. I know how it is to be unhappy. I know how it is to be, doing a job that I don't want to do. I know how it is to be overweight. I know how it is to be depressed. I don't ever want to feel that again. So I'll do everything in my power that I need to do to never feel like that again, because I never want to be that version of myself, because that version of myself was the worst version of myself, you know? Yeah. And so now you're going through this situation and you're sharing this story. Yep. You know, and the thing that you should be telling yourself, this is the last time I share a story like this. 100%, that's gonna be the last time. Especially because you could control everything that happened. You know what I mean? It wasn't like got struck by lightning or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. All this is I put myself in this situation. Yeah. I honestly, you know what? I think after the show was where I kind of took my foot off the gas. Like,
November, December. I was actually
Frankie too. Don't worry about it.
I was well. I didn't. You know what? I would say November I was good. I started to pick it up. I was at the gym all day. I would just stay there even if I didn't have clients. People were reaching out like, "Hey, you look busy," and I'm like, "Well, I'm just actually staying here." I'm like, I look busy. I was like, because I was barely just starting at that gym, and people were noticing me, and I was gonna get a client. Then people were gonna reach out, and then that's when I went back to Cali for the holidays. I ended up staying out there like a week and a half, and then everything just, as I was starting to do this again, I really went down.
Yeah.
And I was kind of set on going back home. So I was like, no, I'm not going to pay rent. I'm not going to do this and that. And then I decided to stay, and then I put myself in a big hole. But I was like, fuck it. I'll have to own up to that. Like, that's the decision I made. That's what I have to learn from. Because again, this is something I got to learn from, and I'm never going to let this happen. This is going to be a story, because I know I'm probably going to meet someone down the line in my situation, because then I can give my 2 cents. But then again, AJ's giving me a lot of like his stories. Like I said, I didn't get to see him go through the struggle in the beginning. So he's always told me that, but it's kind of hard to like put myself in those shoes, because I'm like, I can't really feel that. And then now I'm going through it, and I'm like, now I get what he's saying. Like, fuck, this makes sense. But I had to go through it. And there are some things I did, like I was able to listen to and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, because AJ messed up, and that kind of sounds like I'm gonna mess up there too. So let me do that. But there's some other stuff where I'm like, I don't think
you had to touch the hot pot.
Yeah, I'm like,
you had to go and touch it. Like, oh, he said it's hot, but I'm gonna go touch it anyway. So just make sure it's still hot.
It'll be fine. And then AJ would get on me for like going to these events, and I'm like, bro, but it was free. A lot of stuff here in Vegas for me kind of happened for free. Like I went to EDC for free. I went to some concerts for free. But he brought up, did you buy a drink? Yeah. Did you buy how many? I'm like, I bought 2, then I bought food. So that was like 30, 40, $50 there. EDC, I really didn't spend much. I spent like $20. But there was other things that were free, but it did cost me time. It did cost me from waking up early the next day to either be able to train a client, or because sometimes I would be like, hey,
no posting content.
Or if I did drink, I'll be hungover, and then I'll be in a funk and not do anything Saturday. Then Sunday, try to pick it up. Maybe not even meal prep. If I went out on Saturday, I won't meal prep Sunday. Now I'm trying to catch up on Monday. Now I feel like I'm catching up to the whole week. So I remember you brought up this analogy when you were talking to your clients. It's like that one, what was it you would say? Like
that one split decision you have to either do something that's going to push you forward to who you want to be or push you away is going to affect either not just that night, it's going to affect the rest of the day, but it could go positive or negative, right? By you choosing to go to EDC, yes, it was free technically, but it cost you time, and time is replaceable. You cannot replace time anymore. You would not, once this podcast is shot, that is 45 minutes of our time we'll never get back. We could rewatch it, but we never could get it back. Yeah. Right. And so when you chose to go to EDC, when you know you should be making content the next day training clients, you now didn't just mess up that night and drink and wake up feeling disgusting, but now you ruin that next day because now you're not doing anything that day. Yeah. Right. So you go all day and you don't do anything. You don't meal prep for yourself. You don't train your clients. Now you're feeling lazy. And guess what? The next day you wake up, you don't wake up for cardio. Right. Now you're day number 3. Right, you went to CDC on Saturday. Now Sundays is shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, whatever it might be, and like that's what it is. It's that downhill spiral. It's those domino effect. Are you going to push them forward? Are you going to push them back? And people think that bad decision they're making is only affecting that one situation, but it's really not. That bad situation or that bad decision is most likely a habit you're making to keep making them. And then it affects the Monday and then the Tuesday and the Wednesday. Maybe you get together on Thursday and maybe you get together on Friday, but then you drink on Saturday and does Monday and Sunday. Now you're a type of person who only has 2 days out of 7. You're never going to win with winning 2 days out of 7.
That's what it's self-failing right there.
That's a 10%, 20%. I don't know. It's dyslexic, bro. I don't know. I just give analogies, bro. I don't know what they mean. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? And like that's just where, that when you're saying that, I was like, because I know my clients are there listening, like, damn, my coach does know what he's talking about. Yep. Right. And I don't know everything, but I do know certain things.
And the funny thing is I'm listening to him say all this stuff to all these people. So I'm hearing his clients and then I'm hearing him. and my dumb ass still does the shit. Like, you know, but it's just
No one's perfect, man.
yeah.
You know, we're humans. You know what I mean? You did turn, you know, failure into a lesson. You haven't turned into success story yet. But that's why it's like great to get on there and have this conversation, man. Because like now, even though we can never get this time back, this 45 minutes back, at least you can go look back and on this day at this time, and this is what you're feeling, this is what you're going through. And now you have the choice today, like everyone else listening right now, you have the choice today to make tomorrow a better one or tonight a better one, whenever you're listening to one better one, moving forward. Like you have the choice right now in a couple of months to be on this podcast with your own apartment, with a new car, with more clients or whatever it is, or you have the choice to stay on my couch for the next couple of months until you have to go back home to California. Like the choice is yours, right? What you put, if you're not going to put work into making a cake and a freaking Oreo is going to come out, you put work in the cake, a cake is going to come out.
Yeah.
You put hard work into your clients and good results are going to come out. You give your knowledge, you give enough time to learn knowledge and become a good trainer, then a good trainer is going to come out, right? You don't put in hard work and get nothing back. I'm sorry. And if you feel that you are putting in hard work and you're not getting anything back, I guarantee you're not putting in hard work.
Yeah.
You're talking about putting in hard work. You're saying you're putting in hard work. You're making on Instagram look like you're putting in hard work, but the proof is in the pudding, right? So what you put in and what you're going to get. You're never going to go and bake a pie and get a fucking Oreo out of it.
Yeah. Don't
Oreo sound good.
Don't believe in social media. Don't believe in that shit at all.
That man's heartbroken. But man, like, send them off, bro. Like, I want you to like kind of like send something. Like, if you could talk to your old self, right? Your 6 to 12 month ago old self, right? That thought he was in the hard part of his Las Vegas trip, right? Because there's someone going through the similar situation, right? Someone that gets somewhere and then slows down and like, damn it, me and McJohn must be related. But no, you're not related. We're all like that, right? We just got to break that habit, break that circle. Like, what would you tell your old self before you made the mistakes that you end up making?
Sacrifice. Be willing to say no. Be comfortable saying no to going out. If you're not gonna make money from it, if you're not gonna learn from it, if it's not gonna allow you to become better or help others, then wait on that, because all that's still gonna be there. The fun stuff is gonna be there. The drinks, the partying, the raves, the concerts, they will be there. Don't struggle and try to get your money together and spend it for one night and think like, you know, these are memories. We got to make memories. I was in that headspace like, oh, I'm just making memories. Like, we got, you know, one life. Like, why not? It's still going to be there. Now, I'm in my position. I'm like, damn, that shit's still going to be there. Everything that I did this year is going to happen next year. It's going to happen this year now. So just lock into your work, put in the hours. Even if it feels like you're not moving or pushing forward, you are. You're doing more than the average person. Because if you look at it, a lot of people don't work out. People won't do cardio. People won't meal prep. They won't eat. They're going to go out and drink. Like, if you're someone that is not drinking, yeah, just don't drink for a while.
I think you're talking to yourself on that
I'm talking
one.
to myself. This is myself. Like, don't drink. Like, what's the purpose of drinking? It's not going to, either you have to get fucked up to feel it. If you have one drink, you're not going to feel it. And that drink, that alcohol is going to do damage to our body. It doesn't do anything good. So just don't have it. But just put in the work, perfect your craft, believe in yourself, and surround yourself with others that want to see you succeed. Because I didn't really realize that until 2 days ago when I saw the team there and they were all there having my back. Like, it really, like, this was, yeah, and this was real. And I was like, damn, I already knew, like, all right, this point right here, this is why I'm going to be successful. I'm not going to be successful alone. I'm going to be successful because of my team. And you just fucking work and put your head down and then enjoy your success later on. But right now, just grind. If you haven't how long have you been at this?
What, it's social media or just my weight loss journey in general?
Social media, weight loss journey. Like,
I've been on social media since like 2011, on and off. I've been on my weight loss journey. I don't know. I posted my weight loss journey like probably 3 or 4 times in my entire life. This is like my 4th time of actually staying to it. I've been doing this my whole life. I've had 2 real jobs.
So
I've been a DJ at a skate depot, and I've been a manager at a vape store.
Yeah.
Every single penny I made other than those 2 jobs that did not last long, it was all made by my hands and my businesses, you know?
And that took years. So don't think shit's gonna happen in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm already been a trainer for 6 years, and I'm barely scratching the surface of where I want to be. Like I'm learning still. I still haven't made it. Now, I'm in a place where I can grow maybe faster because I do have the people around me, but I worked for that, right? The work that I put in allowed me to be here. AJ saw something in me because of the work that I was putting in at that time, and it brought me here. And then it brought me to see other people because of the work that I continue to put in. So just keep putting in the work, and it's going to put you where you need to be successful. Do not chase the stuff. Was it gratitude? Like instant gratification. Don't chase that.
Let's go.
That's going to do nothing for you long term.
That's it.
That's it. So,
Long-term success, long-term weight loss, long-term
things take years
take
and time. It's not fucking
Stop saying
overnight.
weeks, start saying months. And when you say months, start saying years. You know, at the end of the day, it's something you have to understand, like when you listen to stuff like this. There is no success without accountability, right? There is no success without discipline. There is no success without actually taking action and starting. And there's no success without, I have a brain fart.
Just take action. Take action.
Accountability. I was on a roll. I had it going, and I messed my own self up. Oh, did I say accountability?
Yeah,
Well, once again, there's no success without any of those things. And I'm not talking about success financially, right?
That'll come.
I'm talking about success mentally, right? I'm talking about mental success, mental richness. How do you look at yourself? How do you view yourself? When you look in the mirror, are you happy with what you see? When you look in the mirror, is your kids happy with what they see? All right. When they look at you, are they proud to call you mom? Are they proud to call you dad? When you look at your bank account, does it make you feel good? If the answer is no to any of those things, it's your obligation to get your shit together. Get out there and win. Modify Life Podcast.
There's no way that this is real, man. It can't be.